This is so ridiculous. Hello.
Hi guys.
We're in a hotel this week. And you'll just have to wait until next week's episode to find out what hotel we're in.
Yes, it's very spooky.
We're gonna go investigate soon. It's literally like 12:45 at night already, and we're recording this episode and our story episode for next time, and then investigating.
And then ghost hunting.
So I think we're finally gonna get a witching hour investigation.
Exciting and very scary.
We're in the most haunted room in the hotel. We were able to get it. So anyway, I'm not going to tell you where it is yet because you have to listen next week.
Yes.
Anyway,
wait and see.
Hope you guys listened to the guest episode last week. It was lots of fun to do. But I'm excited to hear about Catherine's time in Spain.
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. I'm sad that I missed the first guest episode, but I listened to it and it was so good. So if you guys have not checked out that guest episode with Chandler Ryan, you need to because it was awesome. Sounds like we need to have Chandler with us when we check out the Constantine Theater.
Cool. I have been trying to get her to come up an investigation for so long, but toward the end, she was actually like, wait, let's go. She was like, I've already been there. It's fine.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I'm gonna try to get her. Maybe for my birthday.
Hey, there we go. Oh my gosh, Spain was amazing. It was a quick trip. So it was 5 days, like including travel days. Ooh. But we saw so much stuff. We saw Plaza Mayor, Puerta del Sol. We saw the Prado Museum. We saw several different parks. We saw the Royal Palace. Oh my gosh, the Royal Palace was incredible. I did ask our tour guide at the end. I was like, so are there any ghost stories here?
Having to do your research. And then just like whip out your phone and be like, I'm recording an episode right here.
I know.
Recording live.
I definitely think Carlos was judging me a bit.
Carlos. Be cool.
But he was nice about it. And he was like, he's like, they're the same kind of ghost stories that you hear at any like old castle. He said, so like the Royal Palace in Spain, like it had burned down and then was rebuilt.
Oh, okay.
And so some people say that they hear like screaming like from the fire. Oh. Some people feel hot spots. Interesting. So there was one of the kings that died in the castle. And so like some people say that they like hear him walking around.
And they know it's him.
What else did he say? Oh, he said the typical like
in that castle. Like
I know he said like you hear the like there were people that died constructing the castle, so you hear them. But he didn't have any specific stories of his own or anything like that. I know. But definitely a cool place to go. Food was incredible. I ate so much and somehow lost weight.
I think that's healthier there.
I know. I think you can tell a lot about our American food. Literally 2 of my meals were meat, cheese, and bread. Like slices of meat, slices of cheese on slices of bread. It was delicious. Had juice like every day.
Nice.
Nice. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Trying to think what else. Oh, we got to see a flamenco concert or performance. Cool. Yeah, it was incredible. I can't wait to show some of those videos to my students because it was just it was incredible. It was really cool being in Puerta del Sol, which is basically like kind of like a plaza, but it's not the right shape for a plaza, so that's why it's not called Plaza del Sol, it's Puerta del Sol. But that's where they have their New Year's Eve celebrations every year. Yeah. And so I had actually talked to my students about that at the beginning of the semester, so it's cool to actually be there in person. It was under construction though, so I didn't get like great pictures because there's construction everywhere. But it was so cool. We went to this it was called Mercado de San Miguel, I believe. But it used to be like a market. And now it's like an indoor building filled with food vendors.
Ooh, cool.
So you've got like an empanada stand, and you've got a meat and cheese stand, and you've got a like specialty burger stand, and all these different things. It was incredible. Had really good empanadas. and there was an entire booth that was just cheeses.
Heaven.
I
I like to call it.
Yeah, I was like, I could spend so much more time here.
Oh yeah.
I loved Spain. And then we also went to Toledo, which is a little bit outside of Madrid, because I was in
Okay.
Madrid, Spain. And we saw a cathedral. We saw like a famous bridge there that's like overlooking like the city and stuff. It's really pretty. And then the very first thing we actually saw while we were there was the Plaza del Toros. So it's like where they do the bullfighting.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
So it was really interesting hearing our tour guide talk about that. Our tour director was Alberto,
Oh.
and he did a fantastic job. And it was really interesting. He talked about like there's a controversy in Spain about whether or not bullfighting should still take place.
Right, right.
And he talked about, there's multiple sides. Some people are like it's too brutal. Some people are like, well, it's part of the culture.
Yeah, that's hard.
And some people say, well, the culture is only the culture as long as like it's relevant, and culture will adapt and evolve as people adapt and evolve.
Good point. A lot of things that were American culture
Right.
have changed or need to change.
Or need to change, yeah. However, like also if you don't have bullfighting anymore, then this species of bull is no longer going to exist because it's solely used for bullfighting.
Oh. Oh.
So, and he said, like, yes, they have a horrible death, but they have a really good quality of life.
Yeah.
For those 4 to 5 years.
Right, it's controversial.
Yeah. And then, once the bulls are killed, they are used for meat. They're not just like wasted. Like the second they're on the ground, like they pull them off the arena, and they take them to a butcher shop. And some restaurants will use the meat, but they'll also use them for like shelters and for food pantries and stuff like that. Like the meat gets used for people that need it.
Oh.
So
wow, talk about a controversy.
I know.
I don't know.
So,
I don't know what the answer is to that.
That's your fun fact today. That's your
All right.
your fun food for thought.
Huh.
But yeah.
Okay.
Spain was incredible.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. All right, cool. Should we jump right in then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Great. This is our true crime episode, so thanks for tuning in. We're Spooky Okie. I'm Madison.
I'm Catherine.
And thanks for joining us after a long rant.
It's okay. We're good.
iPad lock again. Haha. Okay, great. This is a hot mess setup, but we're making it work. We're holding our mics.
I'm sure we'll post the picture on Instagram of our hotel room setup. So
yeah, it's an absolute mess. I took like every single tray in this room. I have the like whatever this is, drying rack thing maybe.
It's what you put your suitcase on.
Oh, that's fancy. I just put mine on the floor.
The suitcase stand.
It's a suitcase stand.
It's a suitcase.
I've always wondered what these are. I'm like, what would you use this for? That makes so much more sense. I've always wondered. I'm like, I don't know what this is. It looks like a drying rack, but it's obviously not because there's cloth. Like
it's definitely not a drying rack.
Well, I knew that, but I didn't know what it was.
Yeah. So some of them have like a bar that goes like across one edge, and it's to like stabilize your suitcase. They're older ones though, because like most suitcases are big enough now you don't like the edge actually interferes. But yeah, you just open it up on it and then it's up off the ground, so you don't have to bend down so far, and you can just keep it open and it's out of your way.
Brilliant. Never
the
knew
more you know.
Never knew. I've stayed in a lot of hotels, never known what that's for. My suitcases are always on the ground. Cool. Great. Love that. I'm gonna tell you a story. Things are falling off.
Oh no.
No. Hold on.
This is Can you guys tell that we're a little bit tired?
We're so tired.
And we haven't even had any juice.
Nope. All right. Here we go. Let's jump right into some true crime. That'll wake us up.
Yeah.
In the worst way possible.
Absolutely.
All right. So I'm going to tell you the story of baby Holly.
Oh, it sounds so sweet, and I feel like it's not going to be.
It's not. It's sad.
Okay, great.
So my sources are originalnewsbreak.com KFOR.com, and Wikipedia. I
Very
learned a lot for
nice.
this one, because there were some really good, like, in-depth articles about it. So
All
that was
right.
great. All right, jumping right in. In 1979, 17-year-old Tina Gale Lynn and 21-year-old Dean Klaus were married in Florida.
Oh,
They had been high school sweethearts, and they soon welcomed a baby girl named Holly.
oh,
Isn't
precious.
that a cute name? I like that name a lot.
That's a
It's
sweet name.
precious. So the couple moved to Texas soon after Holly was born, because Dean had gotten a construction job there.
Mm.
So they were still very
Already bad
close.
start moving to Texas.
I know. Getting closer to Oklahoma. Here we go. So they moved to Texas because Dean had gotten a construction job.
Okay.
So they were still really close with their families, and they called and sent letters a lot. But then in October of 1980, all communication suddenly stopped.
That's not a good
Not a good
sign.
sign. So the families grew concerned when they received calls from a woman calling herself Sister Susan.
Oh, I don't like that.
No. She said she was calling from Los Angeles and had Dean's car.
I don't like that.
It doesn't add up. Very strange. She offered to bring the car to Florida for $1,000, which, like, from LA to Florida, you only want $1,000. That's not even enough to, like, pay for the gas. I mean, I guess back then maybe it was because it was like, I don't know, the 80s or something. But like,
Yeah, that probably would have been.
so I guess it would have been enough. But
That
like,
probably would have
does not
been.
seem like very much.
That actually probably would have been pricey. I would
Really?
think. I mean, back then gas was probably like $1 a gallon.
I mean, yeah, but to go from LA to Florida, I don't know.
I don't know.
Even if it like doubled, like asking for $2,000 to drive a car all the way from LA to Florida, I don't know. That just doesn't seem like very much to me.
I don't know.
Especially when you're just like, I feel like a questionable person.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you be asking for more money than that? I don't know.
I don't know.
I thought it was strange, but maybe that's just me. So she also said that she had information about Tina and Dean, but she didn't tell them what it was over the phone.
Okay, that's weird.
See, questionable.
That's sketchy. Yeah.
Which makes me think,
That's
why isn't she
sus.
asking for more money? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway,
That's sus.
yeah. So the families agreed to meet at the Daytona racetrack to exchange the car.
Sorry.
As you
Of
do.
all the places.
As you do, apparently.
Okay.
So when they arrived, they were met by 3 women and possibly 1 man. I don't know what they mean by possibly. Like, it's very strange wording, but every article was like 2 or 3 women and possibly 1 man. And like,
Are they like being weird about somebody possibly being
I don't know.
trans?
I
Like,
don't know. Or is it like they didn't know if there was a guy in the car, but they thought there was? Like,
that's
it's just strange
really
wording.
weird.
Like, what do you mean possibly? How do you not know who was there? Like, it was weird.
That's
Anyway,
weird.
there's just
Okay.
a lot of strange things about this case.
Okay.
So they were all in white robes and barefoot.
I don't like that.
Not great.
This is sounding culty. I
Okay. think you're onto something.
Okay.
Also, she's calling herself Sister Susan.
I know. When I heard that, I was like, okay, we're either nun or cult. I don't know which.
Yeah.
Okay.
So according to Sister Susan, Tina and Dean had joined a religious cult.
Okay, there we go.
And they did not want to have any contact with their families, and they were giving up all of their possessions. So she was returning the car.
Don't like that. Why aren't they the ones telling the family?
Yep.
Okay.
A little strange. So,
okay.
While this did raise some red flags, of course.
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah. Nothing was done at the time since Tina and Dean were both adults. You know how it is.
That's so hard. Okay.
Yeah, adult missing cases are
hard.
Are really hard.
Yeah.
The other thing, though, is that Dean had also been involved with the cult while living in Florida. And although the family was like pretty sure he had put that sort of thing behind him when he married Tina, it wasn't like outside the realm of possibility for him to get involved in that again. So they were kind of like, well, maybe he did. Maybe he joined a cult. Like, we're not saying that it's crazy because he's done it before. Like,
he's already been in one cult.
He's already been in one cult, so like he might be in another. So anyway, that's kind of why like nothing was pursued because they were like, yeah, that tracks. Like,
dang,
I know. But then Tina and Dean were never heard from again.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah. Then in 1981, which would have been like a year later. 2 bodies were discovered in a wooded area in Houston.
Mm.
Hmm. A man and woman had been buried together in a shallow grave, and it was determined to be a homicide. The man had been beaten to death, and the woman had been strangled.
Oh my gosh.
I know,
That's
it's brutal.
violent.
Yeah, super violent. They were determined to have been killed about 2 months before the bodies were found.
Okay.
There was no identification on the bodies, and they became known as the Harris County Jane and John Doe.
Okay.
So they couldn't determine who it was. This was before like DNA was commonly used in
Yeah.
cases, so there wasn't a ton they could do.
Right.
Then in 2021, so nothing happened till 2021. They were
Okay.
just Jane and John Doe of Harris County.
Wow.
Yeah. Then in 2021, the state of Texas established a cold case unit and began looking into unsolved murders.
Wow. Took till 2021 to form a cold case unit.
Isn't it strange?
That seems late. I mean,
a little bit late.
No, granted, Houston's been dealing with the gang stuff for a lot. Like,
Yeah.
they got some serious gang stuff that they have to deal with. So,
like, this is the state of Texas. You didn't have a cold case unit until 2021?
Wait, the state of Texas?
State of Texas established a cold case unit.
I was thinking like Harris County had it. Okay.
Nope.
Texas. Okay, that's a bit behind.
Isn't that crazy? I was like, that must be wrong. Maybe it is wrong. Maybe the article is wrong, but like, that's what they said. They established a cold case unit and started looking into these unsolved murders.
Maybe they specifically formed a unit for this case in 2021? Okay, no. Dang, that's really late.
Talking about how they were looking into cases and
plural. Okay.
Yeah. And it said that like,
I mean, I know Texas is behind the times, but it's
really late.
That's really late.
But yeah, they said the case of the Harris County Jane and John Doe was one of the first cases to be reopened.
Okay, so that's not just like, okay.
No.
Okay.
No. The bodies were soon exhumed and DNA testing was done. The bodies were determined to be Tina and Dean Klaus, as I'm sure you have all guessed by now.
Yes.
Yeah. So while the families had feared the worst, they had always hoped that they were just like living their lives somewhere happy.
Right.
So they were pretty devastated to learn that they had been killed so soon after the contact stopped.
Right.
And then police realized that the couple had a baby girl, but no remains had ever been found of a baby.
Oh no.
So baby is missing. Parents were murdered, baby is missing.
And how many years has this been now?
This has been like 40 years or something.
Golly. Okay.
Yeah. So the search for baby Holly began.
Okay.
And also ended very quickly because in June of 2022, they discovered that baby Holly, now 42, was alive and well and living in Cushing, Oklahoma.
No way.
Right? That's our tie into
Oklahoma. Okay.
Like,
I was wondering.
Like
I was wondering where.
I was like, she was found in Oklahoma. Close enough.
Close enough. Okay.
Yeah. So, anyway, it just like they found her so fast too. I mean, that was in 2021.
Yeah.
In June of 2022, they're like, this is who it is. We found her already.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like they didn't even have their identities 2 years prior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I thought it was, really crazy, but also really cool that they found her so fast.
I was not expecting that to end well.
I expected it to be like this long saga of like they've tried all these things and couldn't find her. And
I figured they either couldn't find her or they'd end up tracking down where she was last and then find her body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Alive,
okay.
well,
great.
In Cushing. So shortly after the murder of Tina and Dean, Holly had been left at a church in Arizona.
Oh wow.
Where she was adopted by the pastor and his wife. Who were not involved in any way, and like this was not the cult church. This was like a regular church.
Just a good church. Yeah. Okay. Or we hope a good church.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they told investigators that women in white robes had brought Holly in, and that they had they had like told the pastor and wife that they were members of a nomadic religious group.
Ick.
Yeah. They like told them about their beliefs and things like that. So here's what they said.
Okay.
They said that their religion required male and female members to be separated. They were to all follow a vegetarian diet and not wear any leather goods.
Okay.
They also like didn't wear shoes, I guess. And they wore white robes.
Interesting.
The women also mentioned that they had previously left a baby at a laundromat somewhere. Like just given up a baby to somebody in a laundromat. Just giving it
that sounds really like a good thing to do as a religious group. Okay.
It's really dumb as a cult. Like, don't you want to grow your membership? I don't know. Like
most cults are like they're very like what am I trying to say? Like obsessive about the children. Like
Right.
they're very much like they use the children as a way to keep their members
Mhm.
in. They don't let their members leave, and they definitely don't let the children leave.
Yeah,
That's
it's so
very weird.
backwards. Yeah, we'll get into that actually.
Okay.
Like this next bullet point. So it's speculated that the cult involved was the Christ family cult led by Charles McHugh. McHugh encouraged excessive drug use and required all
Oh,
members to give up their possessions and former lives.
okay.
Any
Lovely.
children born were required to be given up as they were deemed to be, quote, excessive baggage.
What? I don't even know what to say to that.
How do you want to keep your cult going if you're giving away all of the children?
Yeah, I think his drug use has already been pretty strong.
Yeah, like that's not smart. It's the opposite of what you
Wow.
should be doing. I mean, I'm glad that they gave them up and didn't like murder
I'm
them,
right.
but still, like that doesn't make any sense.
Wow.
That's very strange. Um,
It's insane.
right? It's so weird.
Okay.
But they were known to travel around Arizona, California, and possibly Texas. They were considered to be nonviolent.
Questionable.
Mhm. Yeah. Question
Especially
mark
if
there.
there's like lots of drug use. Like,
Yeah. However, McHugh himself was seen as dangerous.
okay,
So
that makes sense.
he
Most
was-
cult leaders are.
Yeah, I would think so. He was arrested in 1985 for possession and intent to sell meth,
Yep,
as
that'll
well
do
as
it.
weapons charges.
Yep, that'll do it.
He and 4 other cult members were convicted and went to prison for those charges.
Nice.
Also in 1985, 10 other cult members were arrested for growing $900,000 worth of cannabis in some like remote area of California or something.
What was the
Like
name of this again? Christ's family?
Christ's family.
Yeah, it sounds like a good Christian family.
Very Christ-like, yes.
Very Christ-like. Let's grow and sell drugs. Yeah.
The
Okay.
cannabis, I'm like, okay, well, I guess they're into natural stuff. But then they're
The
bringing
meth.
into
Yeah,
it, and
the
I'm
meth
like,
is the
okay,
big
we're
problem.
done. Yeah. All right, done with that.
Like a small weed thing, I'd be like, okay.
Cool.
But like that's
I'd
a
be like,
lot.
Yeah,
That's mass producing at that point.
that's a lot.
Okay.
So anyway, the cult disbanded while McHugh was in prison. He built up another small following after his release from prison.
How anyways, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't how do people get
I
sucked
don't
into that?
understand. I don't get it, but lots of people do, so like
I
I
don't
don't know.
get it.
He died in 2010, but there are still active members of Christ's family.
I don't get it. Of course, I'm sure like a lot of people say that about just being a Christian in general. How do you get
Right.
into that? But
like a literal cult, like
a literal cult, I don't get that.
Like you're walking around in a white robe and barefoot,
That's
leaving children random places,
and
What?
encouraged to do drugs as part of your
Right. So wild.
like hardcore drugs.
Hardcore drugs, yeah. So it's still unknown what led to Tina and Dean's murders exactly, but the timeline indicates that they were killed around the same time the car was returned to their families in Florida.
That's
So,
really weird.
like potentially they could have still been alive when it was returned, or they could have just killed them and taken their car back. It's also strange to me that they returned the car at all. Like,
yeah,
it's very odd. Nothing really adds up. It's like if they did it, like why would they reach out? Why would they make contact? Why would they?
Unless it's like to try to keep the illusion that they're still a part of the cult and
I guess so, yeah.
still fine.
Yeah, maybe so.
I don't know. That's bizarre.
Because like nobody would have suspected a cult at all. Like
Right.
they never would have gotten caught.
Yeah.
Nobody knew anything about it.
Yeah.
They're the ones that like called out of nowhere.
Yeah. That's bizarre.
I mean, maybe it's the drugs. Maybe it's all the meth.
Yeah.
So, on the bright side,
okay.
Holly had a happy life with her adopted family.
Good.
And has 5 children of her own and 2
Aw.
grandchildren.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Her biological family is very relieved that she's safe and that she had a good life. And they've reunited since learning her true identity.
Aw, that's
Yeah,
good.
so like a semi-happy ending, I guess.
Yeah.
But the murders of Tina and Dean Klaus are still unsolved. So if you have any information, contact the Texas Attorney General's Cold Case and Missing Persons Unit at coldcaseunit@oag.texas.gov. And that's the story of baby Holly.
Well, I'm glad that baby Holly turned out to be fine.
I know. And she has like a different name now, so we're not like giving away her identity or anything.
I figured.
Yeah, she was like renamed and they have not released that information as
that's good. Yeah.
So, here's your iPad. Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. All right.
It's so weird to hold this mic.
Okay. So, are you ready for my story?
I'm ready.
Okay, mine's pretty short, but it's interesting for sure. So I'm talking about the murder of Jimmy Knighten.
Okay.
If I'm saying that right. Knighten.
Sounds right.
Okay. All right, so my sources are oxygen.com, kktv.com, and theoklahoman.com.
Cool.
So this took place near Ada, Oklahoma.
Oh.
So near our neck of the woods.
Yeah.
All right. So, just real quick for any that don't know, noodling.
Yes, explain noodling to our viewers, please. I would love to hear that.
Noodling is basically where you are stupid. No, I'm just kidding. It's not my cup of tea, but a lot of people really enjoy it. There's definitely health risks involved with it.
Isn't it like illegal most places?
Some states it's illegal.
So I told you everything you need to know.
Yeah. In fact, there's a comedian that has a bit. I think it's Missouri. It's either Missouri or Arkansas. I can't remember. I never remember when there's a story about one of those two. I always get it mixed up. One of those two, it's illegal to have noodling, but there's a noodlers association in that state, and they were like petitioning the government to allow it to be legal, and they were like, if we want to stick our hand in the hole, by golly, we should be able to stick our hand in the hole. And so this is America. And so noodling is where instead of fishing with a rod and a reel, you stick your hand in a hole underwater and grab a catfish out of a hole.
And you just hope there are no snakes, I guess.
You hope that there are no snakes. You hope that there's no snapping turtles, especially alligator snapping turtles.
Yeah.
And you hope that you're strong enough to get the catfish out of the hole.
Those things are big.
Some of those things are freaking huge. And if you're not a big enough person, you're not coming back up.
No.
Because basically, they let it bite onto their arm or hand and then pull it out of the water. And that's noodling.
Welcome to Oklahoma.
Welcome to Oklahoma. Just so you know, it's illegal, though, with noodling to hold a hook in your hand or to have a glove on your hand when you do it. Or at least it used to be. I don't know if it still is. I don't know if those are still the rules, but at least at one point that was the rules.
Why can't you have a glove?
I don't know. That was just
strange.
When I went to wildlife camp, that was.
Why can you not have a hook? You can fish with a hook.
Yeah, but that's cheating.
But not with noodling. Very serious.
If you're gonna noodle, like you gotta
do it right.
You gotta do it right. If you're gonna use a hook, use a fishing line.
Or just do that anyway.
Yeah, maybe just do that.
I never tried it, obviously, because I'm 5'1". I'm not coming back up.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I don't want to risk snakes or snapping turtles. We're in a water moccasin area. And water moccasins do bite underwater.
Oh yeah.
No, thank you.
Okay. Anyway, there's the backstory. You need to know for this case, apparently.
Yeah, you need to know this for this case. Okay, so Larry Sanders, 53 of Atwood, and Jimmy Knighten were friends, and they went to go noodling in the Canadian River near Ada.
Fun.
Yeah, just a nice afternoon going noodling. So, they went noodling. However, he came back to Knighten's residence alone and told his daughter that he had killed Jimmy Knighten.
They were friends?
They were friends.
What? Why?
So, he claimed that while at the river, Knighten said to Sanders that he intended to feed him to Bigfoot.
Okay.
Yeah. So, it was self-defense. Mm-hmm.
Was Bigfoot there? That's my
I
question.
guess.
If it's self-defense, you better have been in actual danger. So Bigfoot should have been right there.
I
Ready to
guess.
go.
So, Sanders said that he believed that Jimmy was trying to get away from him so that the Sasquatch or that Bigfoot could eat Sanders. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I feel like there's not a lot of Bigfoot sightings around us though.
No.
Like, usually that's more like southeast Oklahoma. Like,
Yeah. So, Sanders did not want Knighten to get away, and so he punched him, and then he struck him with a stick. They fought for a while on the ground before Sanders then killed him by choking him to death near the river.
that's so brutal.
Yeah.
He's on something, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the daughter said that he told her that her dad was trying to feed him to Bigfoot, and that he was frantic, and mentioned something about strangling Knighten and possibly firing 2 shots from a pistol.
Imagine being the poor daughter, like hearing all this.
Yeah. Okay, hold up. No. Did I misquote? I thought he was okay. Sorry, he said this to his daughter.
Oh, his own daughter.
His own
Did she turn him in?
His own daughter, and his own daughter is the girlfriend of the victim's son.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. Oh my goodness.
And the victim's son it says the victim's son said Sanders admitted to getting into a fight over being fed to Bigfoot. So I don't know if this victim's son was there too. That's what it sounds like from the articles. Yeah. So the sheriff, the Pontotoc County Sheriff, arrested Sanders that Saturday. So I think it was just maybe a couple of days after that happened. Arrested him and reported that he seemed to be under the influence of illegal drugs. I know. Crazy. So he also had outstanding warrants over unpaid fines from 2 other drug-related cases. Yeah. Yes. He was put on probation for 5 years in 2019 after he was caught bringing methamphetamine into the Pontotoc County Jail after a public intoxication arrest.
Yeah, that tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As soon as you said something about like he was gonna feed me to Bigfoot, I had to kill him. I said, "Oh, that's meth."
Yeah.
That's meth talking.
Yeah. So both of them were so both Knighten and Sanders were 53. Okay. But in Oklahoma, there's not been a lot of it's like it specifically says there's not a lot of sightings of Bigfoot in that area.
No,
so that doesn't even I mean, it makes 0 sense whatsoever anyways, but it's not even like there's a lot of sightings.
Right, it's not like we're down in like Broken Bow or something like
Yeah.
that. There are like a ton of reported sightings.
And just a fun fact about Oklahoma, there is a Bigfoot hunting season now in Oklahoma.
Really
yes, you can get and basically you're not actually by hunting, you're not actually allowed to kill Bigfoot.
Right.
It's like trap. And bring in.
Yeah, you're supposed to capture Bigfoot.
Yeah.
You have to pay for a license to hunt Bigfoot.
Right? Yeah. So Representative Justin Humphrey let's see, 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago, was quoted saying, because he was the one that helped. Oh, sorry. I thought they were successful in getting a Bigfoot hunting season.
I thought they were too.
Okay, this article says they were not. This says they were not successful.
Oh, well, it was at least proposed.
It was proposed. I thought it passed.
What does it hurt? Extra revenue.
I know. I'm like, go for it. Why not? But this is his quote, and his wording is not great on this. But anyways, this is a quote from him. I have some people that I know that are good, solid people who I will guarantee you 100% have said they have had experience with Bigfoot.
Wasn't just like convoluted.
Quote, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We are not promoting killing Bigfoot. We are promoting hunting Bigfoot, trying to find evidence of Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, there are places, like we said, that have had lots of experience or lots of sightings. Lots of people have had lots of experiences seeing Bigfoot.
Yeah, like
but
Southeast Oklahoma.
Southeast Oklahoma, not Ada. So
Ada's southeast-ish, but it's not.
Not like very southeast.
No.
Yeah,
Like
we're talking like the very southeast part of the state is where Bigfoot is more commonly seen. So yeah, that is the story of Larry Sanders.
That is wild.
And the murder of Jimmy Knighten.
Don't do meth, kids.
Don't do meth. It's not a good.
It's not good. It's just not good.
It's really, really bad. There's a lot of stupid decisions that come from doing meth.
If you do meth, you will kill somebody because you think that they're trying to feed you to Bigfoot. That is the moral of the story.
That's the moral of the story.
Weird.
That's our PSA.
PSA, don't do meth.
Don't do meth.
Then you'll hallucinate about Bigfoot.
Yeah. So.
Wild.
Yeah.
Some crazy stories. You always find like the craziest, just like most out there stories. And I'm like, let me tell you this tragic story.
I found another meth one too that I'll tell you another time. I found another great meth one for Oklahoma. Don't you worry.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I was looking up this one, like 3 other stories of meth in Oklahoma popped up.
Sure. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I have enough personal ones that I could tell from people on meth, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, maybe another time. Maybe
probably never.
I
don't want to get shot.
So. Oh yeah, that'd be that wouldn't be good.
Nope.
All right. Well, I never know how to end these.
That was fun.
So condolences, obviously, to that family. That's a rough thing to go through. Horrible. That's a horrible thing to go through. But, yeah, hope Sanders gets some help because it sounds like he needs some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My goodness.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening
to these wild stories in our very professional setup as I'm like sprawled out.
As we're on a hotel bed and
with our ring light currently being held up by an ironing board,
yes,
an upside down ice container, and a random tray I found in here.
Yes. And the computer is on a luggage stand.
Which I just learned what that was.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The more you know.
The more you know.
All right. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at
Spooky Okie Podcast.
And make sure you follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Make sure you guys are sharing it to people that at work, at church, at the neighbor's house, whoever. Anywhere.
Share it with. Rate, review, all that stuff. If you have any story recommendations, spooky places we can visit, anything like that.
Especially spooky places that we can get access to that are not on private lands.
Yeah, because that's really hard to find. But send those recommendations, DM us on Instagram, or email us at spookyokiepodcast@gmail.com. And make sure to support us on Patreon because we're hopefully going to have a very spooky investigation video here.
Yes.
Because I'm already a little spooked.
Me too. It's going to be interesting. So
that's only $3 a month, and you get all of our video content.
All the video
content. All our investigation.
All the video content.
It's 1:20 a.m.
Yep, 1:20. Yep.
Okay, cool.
All right. Well, thanks again for listening, guys. We will talk to you next week.
Stay spooky.
Stay spooky.